looking good. He's sounding good, and he brought slides, which is always always good. Eve Miner says you sound good, so perfect. And you've
All
got
right,
merch,
good.
very good. I'm sad. I saw your pictures from Reykjavik for FanFest. Because I was in Australia, I didn't actually make it to FanFest this year. Of course, I'm going again next year. But are you going to be there next year?
I'm absolutely going to be there next year. I don't
Very
know if I
good.
told my wife that yet, but I do plan on being there next year. Yes.
Yeah, it's the first thing in my travel schedule that I already told my wife. I was like, I'm not missing 2 years in a row. There's no way. That reminds me though, I have to buy my tickets because they actually did sell out last year. Unless, you know, depending on whether I get an official role to play or not. Let's see how when those are announced. Or I need to think of a topic again to present on stage. That's a good way to go a ticket. Did you do that last year, Fern?
No, so last year I was my first time. So I attended just to kind of get a feel for everything. I'm definitely, now that we're an Eve partner, which is very exciting. I do plan on maybe,
Congrats.
if CCP will let me speak in a room one time, that would be neat. Of course, I'd love to do that, but we'll see.
I'm sure they will if you come up with a good topic. They I know that they like to have new presenters on because I know every time I tell them, hey, I want to present a topic on stage, they're like, well, you've done it twice. I don't,
Well,
like you did a good job, but we need to let other people present something, which I totally get. So I think their CCP are very open to new people coming up uh, and presenting there. And you've got a few interesting things to talk about, right? The journey that you and Ray have been taking the last year or two has been quite exciting, I presume.
yeah, it's been a crazy time. We're not done yet either. And so, yeah, I planted a lot of seeds when I was up there last. I gave out a lot of hats. So I'm sure you saw some of the pictures. I didn't bring any for the stream. I'll do that next time. But a lot of CCP devs wearing Eve Guru hats. And really, the biggest thing for me was attending the luncheon they have, the dinner
Nice.
with the devs.
Hmm.
That was awesome because you actually get one-on-one time with Hilmar and the rest of the L1 team. And yeah, put a face to a name.
Yeah, that's very cool. As a CSM, I have a weekly dev meeting. So uh, for me, I would probably know a lot of them, but I haven't had the chance to speak to Hilmar a lot. Did you get to talk to him?
Quite a bit. I mean, quite a bit, meaning maybe an hour and a half total through the week,
Nice,
just kind of
cool.
hit here and there. But the dinner, you get to sit down. We had a half-hour chat. Hilmar's just a happy guy for the most part, right? And he's got some big ideas. It's, the community is very controversial. I kind of pitched what I think would make Eve, the take it to the next level. So he's like, all right, that's an interesting idea, and kind of take it back. But it was a good time.
Nice. And you pinged me a couple of weeks ago, saying you had an update for Eve Guru that is trade relevant. So naturally, I was happy to invite you to the show again because anything trade related, I would love to see, and typically my viewers would like to see. And so, why don't we jump in what you brought for us today?
All right, let's do it. Let me go ahead and before we just jump right into the tool, I thought it'd
Yeah,
be good to take a step back. Let's do a high level, just where we're at right now, and then we'll talk about some of the trade strategies we're going to show off in the tool today.
yeah.
So the last time we were on was in February. So these were our numbers from February: 277 trial users, 296 module subscriptions, and 975 in the Discord. So now the trial users have stabilized. We see about 120 to
Mm-hmm.
150 just all the time. And modules subscriptions are up to 425, and we have 1,500 in the Discord. So for those who are not familiar with Eve Guru, we are a free trial period for 30 days. And then most of our modules is 200 million ISK per month. And so we have the industry tools, which we're not going to talk about today, the station trader, which we will talk about, and the regional trader that we will talk about. If you have any questions on, what are these things and what do they do, you'll see some of it today. But we also have a YouTube channel called Eve Guru, where we do our tutorials, and the tutorial shows you everything. We go through the strategies, we go through everything. So if you miss something today, you can go to the tutorial video and capture it all there. So
Nice.
good growth. Things have stabilized quite a bit. We have some ideas on how to, new things coming down the pipe, but things are looking up.
This is quite amazing, Fern. I mean, these numbers are super steady, and is 425 current? Like, is that concurrent subscriptions this month?
As of this is the last rolling 30 days. So we always take the rolling 30. So currently, as of today, the last rolling 30 is 425.
And remind us again, what's the subscription price for your tool right now?
Yes. So if you do the industry, all the industry tools is 200 million. In fact, I did not plan on doing this, but if you give me one quick second, I got a visual that will
it's going to be the number one question.
That's right. We have a website called eveguru.online that you can go to. And then the download button we put at the very top. So before you choose your platform, whether you want Windows, Linux, or Mac, we're on all three now. That's also another big update.
Yeah.
These are the different prices. So the regional day trader is $1 billion per month. We're going to go into why that is. It's just to kind of keep competition down a little bit because it is the most profitable way to make money, which we'll show here towards the end. But then here's our other two modules, the industry, which is what we're built on. Everyone knew EveGuru as an industry tool first. And then the station trader is 200 mil and the regional is $1 billion. Big number, I know that. But it's also, if you hop in our Discord, one of the most talked about modules on a day-to-day basis because of what we're going to show today.
Nice. Crota in chat says, no one wants to listen to this nonsense on regional trading and come into competition with me.
Yeah, regional trading is the fastest way of making money in the game. So this is what I personally did for years. And then I did a Eve University class on it using evespace.trade. And so I did do a bunch of, because evespace.trade passed basically last week, if you guys haven't heard about it.
Yeah. That was probably one of the oldest tools I used in Eve that was still running. I mean, for such a long time. Like early days of Eve, that was already up. I think it's just forever.
Yeah. So now,
and it was simple but beautiful.
It's still here. It was simple. The bad thing about it is that it gave you terrible demand signals. It would just tell you buy low, sell high, and then 90% of what it told you to do would never sell because there was no demand on it, right? But I did Eve trade class using Excel, but as you can see, it no longer works. It's gone, and the Discord's been deleted too, so it's off the map.
Yeah, it was always super simple, but it was simple enough that it was a good hook for people to get into regional trading. Like, everybody understood what it did, and from there, people then went on and built their spreadsheets or used more in-depth tool, but it was a very easy way for people to jump in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously for us, it's bittersweet because we love more tools in the community. But with EveTrade.space gone, the profitability in the calculator has skyrocketed because there's basically all the competition's kind of disappeared. So it's, does it benefit EveGuru? Yes. Are we still sad that the tool is gone? Yes. So we'll leave it up to the viewer base to decide how upset we are. But we do generally want more tools in the community, even more the better, right? So all right, next slide. We did a quick user poll. How helpful do you find the community? So this is our Discord. We have 1,500 in the Discord. How helpful is the community teaching players how to trade, how to do industry? And what they find is that 40% of our users rated us as a 10. And we have one guy who says we're toxic, but his name's Robo, and he's just a troll. We love him, though, so we keep him around.
I have a few of those.
Module wish lists. Yeah, so he's actually a really cool guy. He talks all the time, so we love him. So he's just trolling. But As for modules, like upcoming modules that the community would like to see, profit tracking is now at the top. And then inventory management, station market manager, which all I'll say about that is that this is the one that'll be coming next because it's so easy to build. And station market manager will allow you guys to basically manage your own hubs. So if you want to create, if you want to stabilize RENs or create your own market hubs, we also call this the Eden Trade module.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of us are familiar with Eden Trade. It's the exact same thing where you can basically create your own markets, and the tool will tell you what to buy, how much to buy using market statistics, and you'll see that here in a little bit.
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about station trading real fast, and then we'll hop into the tool so people know what station trading is. So the station trading is when you buy and sell from the same station. Most popular locations are, of course, Jita, Amardo, Dixie, Heck, and Rens. These are your 5 big markets in the game. Profitability is affected by unit volume, fees, and profit margins. Pros, you don't have to transport anything. Everything you purchase is immediately available to sell. You only need 1 character to do it. Profit margins are fairly safe because you're buying it off the buy order, you're selling it to the sell order, and the difference is your profit. Cons, since the big con, you're at the mercy of waiting for the buy order to fill. And so it requires a wide variety of purchase orders to be placed to maximize opportunities because you don't know who's going to sell you what. And you also have to compete with others for the purchasing of items. And so finding items to trade in a station is tough because you're looking for certain things like this one, this Vermilion Microseracan. This is a gas. This is a very good station trading item in Jita. So it's got a wide channel. So the Deutschen channel, what this says is that at the bottom, this is the cheapest price that was sold to yesterday. And this is the highest price that it was sold to. So it's very wide. You want wide Deutschen channels. And then your dot here in the middle is your weighted average price. So the closer it's to the bottom, it means on these particular days, the item was always sold to the buy order, while on these days, it was always sold to the sell order. So you're looking for action. You have to have a wide channel. You have to have action and volume. And then when you pitch that to a new player, or probably to half your users, they may have already glazed over. Like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that for every item in the game? How am I going to find these opportunities? eTrade.space is gone. Now what? So we have a tool. We're going to demo the first.
So not
screen,
my viewers,
and this
but
is
the average Eve player, sure.
Not your viewers. Your viewers know all things about station trading. They know exactly what to buy, how much to buy, all the time. So what we've done here is, it looks like a lot at first, but the idea is that every single thing you could possibly care about in station trading is right here. You don't need to go into the game. You don't need to look at a graph. You don't have to look at anything. You can just look at this. So we'll start from the left, or we'll work our way quickly to the right. We're going to pick this top item, this filament. This is in Jita. So if you're sitting in Jita right now, feel free to pull it up. But what we did, Adam for Eve takes snapshots of every item that sells in the game, because the game doesn't tell us, if we go back to the Deutschen channel, the demand on the bottom graph doesn't tell us how many was sold to the buy or the sell side. We just have that little dot. So Adam for Eve takes snapshots, and then we go a step further where we normalize it back to the regional demand that CCP gives us. So long story short, this is a more accurate version of Adam for Eve, but we do use Adam for Eve to kind of drive some of these demand signals. So this filament, 127 gets sold to the buy order every day, and then 100 gets sold from the sell order. This is beautiful. There's action. People are selling 100 to the buy. They're buying it from the sell. Right now, you can buy it. You can put a buy order for 141K. It's selling for 14 mil. And if you're thinking, well, is that normal? We have what's called the average price. So the average price is 239. So you can already tell, okay, this is a part that is in constraint. It's spiked. It's in constraint. So should I buy it? So right now the profit is 1.3 bill, right? If you can get the 100 pieces, if you can sell it for 13 million each, which you probably can't, but if you could, your profit would be 1.3. We also give you the ROIs. So the ROI right now is 9,000% on this item, but the period, right? The average period is still 58. So you're going to make somewhere between 9,000 and 58% ROI. on this part. Basically, this is a part that you want to put a buy order for. And all of this is customized, but we even give you days of supply. So right now, this filament has 2.3 days of supply up on the market. And we put your period profit over here too to kind of help. So you're going to make anywhere between 8 million and 1.3 billion if you can sell 100 of these units. And then it gives you every single item in the game that is profitable based on your assumptions. And there are a lot of them. And so we actually tell you, and my mouse literally just died. That is terrible timing. I got batteries.
Grab some batteries. No worries. We'll cut it out for YouTube. This is live streaming. Remy Main in chat is saying, no, it's not selling at that, already down to 9.9 million. This can it's always a maximum of 5-minute current, right? There's always some delay in EVE Online. Let's see if we know where the battery stash is. Yeah.
That's right. I'm panicking right now. Okay. So there is a 5-minute delay between pricing. So the pricing will never be dead on. Also, if we look in the top left, look at the ESI sync. I updated my data about a half hour ago. So the pricing is about a half hour old. And when he says it's down to 9 million, that shouldn't surprise anybody because we can look in the tool and the tool says that the average price on this, the average period price, if I scroll back up, is 239K. So when you go to buy the part and sell the part, you already know that the part is going to start dropping in price. You didn't have to look at a graph. You didn't have to do anything. You can already figure that out just by looking at the average pricings here. And so what we do is we tell you how many to buy. So on the purchase units column, this is how many we recommend you to buy. So instead of buying, because when you put in a buy order, your ISK gets tied up in the buy order. And your wallet is only so big. And in station trading, you want you want hundreds of buy orders on all these items because you don't know what's going to sell to you. And you're also competing. So we're saying, okay, put 100 units of a buy order there, 2 right here, 13 right there, 5 right there, all the way down. So yeah, and we do that for every single station in the game. We have assumptions up here. So these are just the opportunities that are within these assumptions. I want to make at least 15 million per line. I want the ROI to at least be 20%. And we also do what's called a risk profile. So you'll see that the period ROI is set to 0, meaning if these are all the parts where you could put a buy order in right now, and the average price is still lower than that. So these are super safe. These are very safe items for you to place buy orders on because they're meeting the average. If you don't want to do the 14-day, you can make that 30-day, 90-day. The longer the time period, the more safe it becomes. So you can set up your own trading methodology right in the tool, and the tool automates the result for you for station trading.
Yeah. I should say at this point, this is what I always warn my viewers about. This works for all goods that have not recently been nerfed or recently been seriously impacted by a patch. If you're looking, for example, at most all salvage material right now has crashed in price by 50% or more because of the number of exploration sites that was raised in the June patch, and now all the salvage is hitting the market, everything is down. All of these spreadsheets and tools are not going to help you with that. You have to know that. Like if you buy all salvage right now, that doesn't mean it's 50% underpriced. It just means the normal has shifted because there's so much more supply in the game now. Most people know this. I'm just saying this as a caveat. A tool like this is fantastic for the technical analysis of the market. It doesn't replace game knowledge completely.
Correct. And so that's why personally, even when things are on a downward trend, I always want a high ROI. So here's a salvage item that we're talking about. The last 2 weeks, it's 56% ROI. Right now it's 55. So it's very stable. So even if over time it begins to drop, I still have a 55% buffer. So that's why we only recommend in the tool that you buy a day of demand at a time. So here's a day of demand. If you want to buy 2 days, just double the quantity when you put in the buy order. But basically, we recommend a day at a time. That way, we're protecting your wallet. If the price starts to go down, you have a very healthy ROI. Price goes down, you still make 20% perhaps. And then the next time, the tool does not recommend you to buy it because it no longer meets your ROI threshold.
Yeah. I one thing, there's just an idea possibly, or maybe you've already implemented this, Fern, but in my I basically do exactly this, but in my own spreadsheets, right? I pull all the data in, and then I put filters on top. I look at margins, look at history, and everything. That's how I do it myself as well. I build queries on top of it. One big filter that I love to do is a trend, like a 7-day trend or 14-day trend, because a lot of times, possibly, you want to look at items that are very cheap right now, but that have bucked a trend over the last X days or weeks or something like that. So that's something that I think would help a lot of people to identify. I don't know if you can see a 7-day trend, 3-day trend, 14-day trend in here.
I think so. So like on this one, I have the risk profile set up to 14 days. So if I look at the price, where's the price at on here? So the buy now, buy sell. Here we go. The average price was 100,000 ISK, and right now the sell price is 136. And so the trending it went up.
Yeah.
It was at 100. Now it's at 136. If you put the buy order in, the highest buy order is 98. And so if you get the buy, if you win on the buy order side, you'll make anywhere between 29. Because as soon as you put the item on the market, this is how trading works. As soon as you win on the buy side and you put the item on the market, you are now putting downward pressure on pricing, supply and demand. So as soon as you enter the supply side or the sell side, you're putting downward pressure. So you're going to make anywhere between 29%, or you may lose 4 based upon this trending between this 136 and 100. If I want to do last 3, I could change that to 3, 7, 30, whatever I want, and that gives me the number without having to look at a graph or anything.
Liral in chat has a point that is always brought up when people talk about tools like this. And if a bunch of people start using it, doesn't this basically eliminate all opportunities, right? And I'll answer that for you, Fern. I'll answer my side, and then you can add, okay? But so in theory, of course, this is exactly what that would mean. Part one of the answer is Fern put a $1 billion is price on this to deter people to use it, for probably that being one reason. But 2 is, in my 20 years of EVE Online, right? I mean, I have been streaming for 5 years. In the first 3 years that I was streaming, I was just putting out all of my secrets. I would put everything out there, and I was still making money, because in the end, there 99% of people just don't bother. It's not that the opportunities are out there, but they just don't do it because that's not their gameplay, or they're not, or they're scared, or they don't want to, or they find it boring. Like, there's a ton of reasons, but if my experience has taught me anything, the opportunities will never die because there's just not enough people taking advantage of it. What's your experience, Fern?
So this particular module, the Station Trader's 200 mil, the $1 bill one is still coming. So this is the 200 mil module for station trading. And in my experience, I'm going to echo exactly everything you just said. What we find is that people get rich trading, and then they stop trading because it's not that entertaining, and they go into like faction warfare for a while. Yeah. So there's this coming and going, and also the market is so big. We're looking at just G244. I mean, this also works in nullsec, by the way, as well. So any station you can do this with, and folks are just not consistent enough. And the market's so big and things are so volatile. I mean, oxygen isotopes yesterday was like 10 days of supply, and then yesterday it went to 0, just out of the blue. So, there's things in the market happening all the time, and as traders, it's our job to help equalize markets while making a lot of money doing it.
And regional trading specifically is what I think most traders start with, because it's the most, I think,
Oh yeah.
logical of the trades. You're like, okay, I buy here, I sell somewhere else. That makes sense, because in the beginning you're like,
Yep.
in one station there can't possibly be enough opportunities. And over time, I think most people, this is what my journey was. I couldn't be bothered with regional trading anymore because I didn't want to bother with hauling or anything. I was like, I just became bigger and bigger and bigger and lazier and lazier and lazier. And I
Yeah. Yeah.
just stayed in JITA and started flipping things in JITA because even there's enough opportunity there. So I think especially regional trading is a fantastic gateway drug into trading in EVE Online, because I think it's a little bit more effort and a little bit, and it's another stage or step in the analysis process, but it's fun. It's very satisfying to buy something somewhere, move it, and sell it somewhere else.
I think that's a perfect segue for the regional trading module. So,
Hell yeah.
what is regional trading? So, regional trading, we have these different markets that pop up in the game. So, I have this, I call it the high sec superhighway, the big circle NASCAR track. This is Visamia, by the way. You can cut your trip from JITA to Amar in half if you go through Visamia. Very quiet, low sec system. Take a scout. You still could die, but there's your tidbit. And these markets pop up because when you're a character in the game, the game spits you out someplace. So if you're Mimitar, you're down here, Mars over here, this is Galente, and this is Caldari. And so these markets naturally form because there's a tension between traveling for something and then getting everything in one spot. And so oftentimes people would travel to a hub because they want to get everything at once. They just want to get in a station, fit their ship, get their ammo, and go back to their mission or whatever it is they're doing. The problem is if you live out here in Amar, you're not going to travel all the way to JITA to fit your ship usually, because that's a very far trip. And so these hubs pop up to facilitate trading and time traveling. And so a JITA is the king market. If you're looking for a one of one item, you go to JITA. Amar is the second largest market strictly because of location. It's on the opposite side of JITA. And so Amar is the second largest market. And in between, you have these smaller markets, because if you're at Heck, you're not that far from JITA. Dodixie, I think, is like 12 jumps. You're not that far from JITA. So they just tend to be smaller markets. And so what happens is manufacturers are still building things. They're still listing them in these markets, but there becomes these pricing opportunities that pop up due to just natural constraints that occur. And so in the tool, we're going to do a quick demo where the regional trading strategy is we're going to take stuff from Amar, we're going to take stuff from Dodixie, we're going to take stuff from Renz and Heck, we're going to bring it all to JITA, all these cheap things, and we're going to take it to JITA. The tool, by the way, does it in any direction. You can start from JITA and go to all these locations as well. It doesn't matter. So you can regional trade in all directions by the click of a button. And I'll show that here in a second if I have time at the end.
Let me jump in there real quick, because like,
there we go.
If you're not into regional trading, you may have read on Reddit, every once in a while in the past couple of years, that regional trading is dead because Amar was cut off from JITA, and like people are just like, things become like slightly less convenient, and people forget that there's other ways to travel through wormholes, just or being good at or being good at hauling, or letting other people haul for you. There's a lot of things that you can do, and people act like these trade hubs are dead, right? And you might get the impression that they are dead. They're far from dead, right? Even Amar is fine. Okay, like there was changes in the market volume, etc., but trust me. And so I'm sure Ferd will show you a few things now about regional trading. It is not dead. The pathways between the hubs are fine, and if you're a regional trader, you might even enjoy things getting more difficult every once in a while because it gives you opportunities. And Double D, thanks for the 5 gifted subs.
I'm very passionate about regional trading because this is where I made all my money. So before EVE Guru existed, I had a Power BI report where I did all this myself. Nice. And this is how I made all my money. And it was funny because folks are like, sell to sell trading is a bad idea. You go someplace, you buy it off the sell price, you take it
Hmm.
someplace, you list it on the sell price. That is highly risky, terrible. No one do it. You can't make money. I had so many people tell me this, and the whole time I'm just laughing to the bank. And now we have that style right here in eGuru, and it is the fastest way of making money, bar none. And you would think, hey, all these opportunities are going to go to zero. Nope. This has been out for 4 months and it's never gone to zero. And our users are just stable the whole time. And now with eTrade.space gone, the profit opportunities it was already good, and that was just stupid. So that's why we're bringing the tool here, because we didn't want to advertise it, because we have to be careful, right? We don't want we don't want to put 300 people into it, because in regional trading, in theory, with enough pressure, you could equalize regional trading. It would take an army, but you can do it. So that's why we weren't advertising it yet, because we're trying to figure all of it out. So with all that said, this is pretty live. It's within an hour. These are your opportunities right now if the target marketplace is JITA. So I've selected JITA. I want everything where I'm making at least 10%. I'm buying a day of demand. I'm willing to buy things if it's negative 10%. So that's a little riskier. I'm willing to buy a few riskier items, which I'll show here in a minute. And shipping set to zero, because I'm going to haul this myself. In regional trading, we highly recommend, almost demand, that you haul it yourself. Because if you give it to PushX, it's called a regional day trader for a reason. If you give it to PushX, it's going to take 3 days, and the opportunity might be gone. So you got to buy the item, haul the item, list the item same day. It's a must.
Can I?
So if we look at just
There's an
go ahead.
alternative, Fern, because I'm sure you know the Haulers channel, and I always complain, make fun, or brag about this, but you can get some insanely good deals in there where people haul for next to nothing from Dodixie to JITA, and so there is a way. If you post in there, at least you get feedback pretty quickly within 10 or 15 minutes if somebody's going to take it. And in the past, especially in regional trading, when I do my Zero to Plex series, I have found that that is the place to go if you want like small stuff moved. It is so cheap, and you don't understand how people can trade it that cheap.
Yeah, PushX prices has gotten. I mean, I love PushX. We
Yeah, but
use
it's
them
expensive.
pretty often,
Yeah,
but
of
their
course.
pricing has got pretty high here recently. So
Yeah. Yeah,
all
the
right,
Hollis
so let's
channel,
look
people
at
do it
the.
for hobby. It's the space trucker fantasy. They just haul it for the RP.
Yep. Well, let's look at a few items here from Amar. So if you're sitting in Amar right now and you want to take stuff to JITA and you want to sell it right now, here it is. So apparently pyrite, of all things, is the top item. So the tool is recommending. So let's go left to right. The tool recommends that you buy 1 billion units. The demand per day is 1.3 billion units in JITA. Well, why are we only telling you to buy 1 billion? It's because the source is JITA, only has this many available. So basically the tool is saying, wipe out Amar of pyrite, wipe it out, haul it to JITA and list it. And if you're wondering how heavy that is, we have item volume. So it's 10 million meters cubed. So you would need, if you're going to triple cargo expand your freighter, you better be insta warping that thing with webbed alts. If you do, that's essentially about 9-10 freighters. So it's heavy, but if you can get it there, it's going to be anywhere between 2.3 bill. And look at this trending, by the way. Here's a cool trending thing. So I set my profile to 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, this would have been worth 2.8. Right now, it's worth 2.3. So there's definitely downward trending on pyrite, but your ROI is still 8%. Pretty good, especially on something like pyrite that's going to sell through pretty quick. I mean, it's pyrite. And
It's big though.
2 bill is
Lots
still
of
2
volume.
bill. Yeah. So even though your ROI is only 8%, it's 8% of a house. Do you want 8% of a big thing or 50% of a grape? You know what I mean? So that's where this target profit becomes very helpful. Alligators, here's a dangerous one. So you could make 700, you could lose 500, because 2 weeks ago it was selling for $5.99, and right now they're selling for $7.28. And if we look at target days of supply, there's 2 days of supply on here, which tells me, there's probably a little bit of competition. I would not feel good about buying 10. Maybe I buy 2 just to see if I can grab a little bit of that cash. Of course, I could set my risk profile to 0, and then the alligator would just disappear. So it just depends on what you want your trading strategy to be. This compressed golden micro Saracen, I'd buy this, right? I might lose 2, but I may make 38 percent. So this is an item I would definitely buy and bring down. It's only 16,000 meters cubed, pretty lightweight. And what we also do for you is, let's say you want to buy all these things. I'm just going to check the box. We check the box, shopping list, right click, copy for multi-buy, and then you can drop it into multi-buy right in the game, and the whole thing will populate.
Yeah.
And because we want you moving quick. So
profit per cubic meter is probably something that people are interested in.
I think, do I have that in here?
If you don't, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, that's probably.
If not, we will. If not, well, I think it's on our list of things to add. I don't think we've added it yet.
Because in the end, if you make it so easy to buy, then the buying step is trivial, but the hauling step isn't. And the hauling step, you're going to pay per cubic meter, and so that's going to be a big deal. And so the profit per cubic meter is big.
So if I was to, I don't know what the ShipX rate would be. I'm just gonna put in 100 per M3 going from VAR. And so now these opportunities have dropped off. And so we do have shipping costs. So if you know how much it's going to be, if you ran PushX's calculator from Amar to Jita, you could calculate ISK per M3, put that in the calculator, and then it just comes back with, all right, here's all the things based upon those shipping rates that you can ship and still meet all of your requirements as well.
Nice.
And the last thing I'll show, let me see how long this takes. So we have a private server coming, where the private server is going to do several things. One, it'll make the subscription service a lot faster. We want it within a half hour, not 2 hours, and other things. But one of the things it'll do is, I'm going to update my opportunities here. So sometimes, okay, it's the 7 seconds because I have it cached. Cool. Sometimes when you change the marketplace, it takes about 3.5 minutes, and it'll tell you that because it's running all the market statistics manually. So you never have to wait more than 4 minutes in the regional day trader to get everything for that market. But when we get the private server, it's going to take it down to seconds. So you're able to click any marketplace you want, and it'll just update. So when you talked about, hey, Amar is dead, right? No, it ain't. Here it is. In Jita, there's a bunch of cheap stuff in Jita, like photon microprocessors, that you could take to Amar right now and make a killing on. So you're going to make anywhere between 186% and 9%. Because that's your trending. The trending is up. It's up because it's down to its last day of supply of 1.3. Look at this prospect. This prospect only has 0.3 days of demand left. There's hardly none left. So this one's saying, and look how it restrains too. The target is 32. We sell 32 prospects a day over in Amar. Even though Jita is the source, has 500 prospects, we don't tell you to buy 500 prospects. Just buy the day of demand, take it to Amar, list it. If it sells, if the whole day sells tomorrow, which it probably will, because there's none left, so you're probably going to make this. Once the prospects sell, you come back the next day, you reload the calculator, and it says, hey, buy those prospects again. And you do that every single day. And so now you're going back and forth. You're taking stuff from Jita to Amar, Amar to Jita, hitting Dodixie along the way, and you're trading in all directions.
Nice.
And as you can see, trading is not dead.
Have you, I used to run the Zero to Plex series where I, make a fresh account and then try to get it, to 1 billion plus to Plex the account. Have you considered doing that just with Eve Guru?
So I haven't done it personally, but I can tell you 2 stories. The first story is this guy had 1.7 billion in his wallet. He never traded before. He was relatively newish, and he didn't tell anybody, but he dropped $1 billion on the regional trader. And I would never recommend that. I would say, hey, you want about 10 billion in your wallet before you get the regional trader, because then you can snowball like crazy. Well, he started with 700 million left in his wallet using the regional trader. and he turned that into 5 billion by the end of the month. And from there, the snowball, the more risk you have, the more you snowball, right? We have another guy named Commander Raw, who now he's bought like 6 jump freighters because he's trying to get to Amar faster. And he's clearing about 100 bill a month in profits. So I'm not saying if you get the regional trader, you'll make 100 bill a month, but there's a lot of people making a lot of money with it. So if you spend the billion and you have at least $1 billion left in your wallet and you just are consistent every day, you ought to clear 5 billion your first month. We've had several people do it. So it just comes back to consistency. Do you find it fun? Do you like doing it? Is this your dream or not? And if it is, we take the planning out of it. You no longer have to do Excel spreadsheets. You don't have to do anything. You can change all of your assumptions right in here. So it just kicks out what you want to see and go and have fun.
Fern, this sounds like we should do a show. I mean, we should do
Let's do it.
1 or 2 month Eve Guru challenge. How far can we push the tool? How much money can we make in a month? The question is just if we stream it, how many people are going to try to grab the information and do the same? But I would still I'm still gonna argue most people are just not gonna bother, man. Just that step from getting it into it and that slight delay of maybe a few trades offline, like people are just, I think you could still do it. I think we could still make a few billion.
Sorry about that. I would say we do not restrict our users on how they use Eve Guru. We tell CEOs, just have one subscription for you, and then take everything it tells you to do and give the answers to all your court mates. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care. We don't restrict. And we find that the market is just so danged big. I really believe if we all tried to optimize the market together, we would still fail. It's just so big. And it's just high sec. So if you're in null sec, what's happened also is a lot of like goons and things, especially goons and others in it, have used this tool and they're pulling things out of high sec and shipping it into null sec because they can see their market hub versus this hub, because you can put in the total marketplace, like this one's Constantinople, right? So you can have the tool, because as soon as you click Constantinople, it'll check all high sec locations or low sec, null sec, it's wherever you want. And it'll say, here's all the cheap stuff you can take into null sec because you have of course, your shipping freight rates. So it's pulling items out of high sec, which makes pricing go up, which is great for traders and manufacturers. And of course, with our manufacturing tools, then you have more profitability to build things. It's just a good thing for the community. And when we tie all this in with the station market manager, where the next phase of this is, okay, now you want to own RENs. You want to manage RENs. What does RENs need to have a full marketplace, like a JITA experience? Because you need certain amount of items. You need 1,500 items. You need so many quantities to support the market. Here's all the market statistics, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, Eve Guru would like to see RENs become like a JITA. That's one of our goals. We have a big announcement surrounding that here next month. But we kind of have an internal goal. We want to make RENs like a mini JITA. So that's why we're bringing out the station market manager next.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Love it. Cool.
And lastly, because I do play the game and I really have a good time playing Eve. So I'm out of Eve with this stuff, but I also play inside of Eve as well. I've spun up a little alliance called Buy Low, Die High. Thought it was kind of witty. And we're just recruiting high sec miners and corporations. And so if anybody's looking to just mine and make stuff and trade stuff, just put in an app, come find me, and we can play together.
And where are you based? You're based in high sec, or?
Yeah, we're just high sec. I did the whole go from high sec, take everybody out to null sec one time back in 2016. I'll never do it again. It just becomes so much work. And, between Eve Guru and work and family, I just don't have the time to do null sec anymore. So we're mostly high sec, low sec, and just hanging out.
Nice. Maybe I'll have to put a character in there. I'll create a new account.
Cool.
Put a character in there and then we'll do an Eve Guru challenge on screen with that character, and then maybe we'll use that money to build
that'd
something.
be fun. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So the devs, like, we do not use Eve Guru in the trading modules. Ray and I, we do not do regional trading. We do not do station trading because we're not going to compete with our users. We do use the industry calculator because, industry is just so freaking big, and the lead times are much longer too. So,
chat, any questions for Fern while we got him here? I'm going to read some comments. I'm guessing you're in chat, Fern, and you're seeing this.
Yes, I am seeing it.
The impression is much more is available with the Guru, and it's more flexible. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, this is not comparable, I think, to Eve Space or. I mean, I think the Atom for Eve margin finder, that's a fantastic tool, and you've taken a lot of inspiration from there, which is good.
Yep, we literally use their buy versus sell metrics, but they have errors in their data because when they sum up their stuff, it doesn't equal what CCP says was sold in total for the day because they're missing snapshots because things sell so fast they can't snapshot everything.
Exactly.
And then they don't normalize it. So we do that so that way we have a better signal.
Also, Atom for Eve is much less maintained nowadays than it was a couple of years ago. So I think it even has a message on the homepage that says the production environment isn't being maintained. It's only the dev environment that's being maintained right now. So I think the production is in maintenance. So I don't want to speak for Ethan here to say it's on its way out, but I am pretty sure he's got other priorities right now. So it's good that you're picking up some of the slack. Do you have any? But you have no free content, right, Fern? Like beyond the free 30-day trial. After that, there's no free content, right? No free tools.
We were thinking about, so with the Eve Guru, because we have and I guess I'll just show it here real briefly. We do have like character maintenance stuff where you can check, your skill sheets, asset trackers as well, where all your assets are. There's a lot of things in here. Market orders, you can update your market orders in here. So I didn't want to spend much time on that. But what I will say is we are considering a freemium version that would just have kind of like your character maintenance area stuff, but not access to the tools that tell you what to do. So we like to say that Eve Guru tells you what to do. And right now you have a tool like Eve Tycoon, which is a profit tracker that tells you how you did. And someday we'll have our own profit tracker so we can keep everything in the tool with pretty graphs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we are thinking of doing a freemium version because we couldn't run an ad this year on the Alliance tournament because they only accept ads from groups who don't have paywalls, and we don't have a freemium version. And so that sucked. I didn't realize that until 2 days ago when they told me. So next Alliance tournament, when we put out an ad, we'll have a freemium version so that way we can make the ad.
Yeah. Tetranos is asking, what are you doing with the trillions you made so far from subs, Fern?
Well, I don't think we made trillions. We're probably pushing our first trill from, the subscription stuff. And that announcement is coming out next month. We have a I'm giddy, but
nice.
I can't say anything. Ray will literally shoot me. So we got a plan.
It's got something to do with Rens.
In motion, and it'll be done. And then we'll announce what it is we're doing. And it's going to be all in game. So
Blue Gray is saying, I can't make heads or tails of Atom for Eve. I feel like I need another degree to understand it. Yeah, Atom for Eve, like, it takes a long time to understand it, but I have to say, right, I am for the last 5 years, or the last year, it's been kind of, going down. But before that, I was such a huge fan of Atom for Eve because at first you don't understand the tools, but as you start using them, you realize this is exactly what you tried to build in your spreadsheet. And he was thinking about so many things. He just didn't spend too much time on making it easy to use. He just made them extremely effective. So Atom for Eve is a tool for experts. It's not an entry-level tool. you have to be already in the mindset of which KPIs are relevant, how are you going to use the KPIs, etc., etc. But once you're in there, man, those tools in there are amazing. Like the margin finder is exactly what Fern perfected here, Fern and Ray perfected here with their market module, but also the what's it called, the material influence tool. Man, like what item goes into which blueprints, and not only that, but which blueprint uses the most of this item, and also which one has the highest trade volume. That's the one he added after I asked for it, but still, that is big brain stuff, because that is how you understand how materials flow through New Eden and what is used where. And that is one of the most important things you have to understand, because if you don't understand those things, it's very tough to trade profitably in the long run, or to do industry profitably in the long run. You can have all these tools that technically tell you what to do, but you have to, you're only really unlock it if you really understand what's going on.
My favorites from Adam for Eve is their system index tracker, where you can track system indexes over time. And so if you're a manufacturer like me, you care about that stuff, because you can see, oh, this system used to have a big index. Now it's 0. It's been 0 for a while, and probably safe to build here for a while. So yeah. There's a lot to love about Adam for Eve.
It's great to see a lot of you are putting love for Adam for Eve in chat. It's a nerd's tool. That's why we love it. Even Double D says Adam for Eve is where I go to when my own numbers don't make sense anymore. Yeah, even such simple things as understanding what are the largest trade hubs. They have trade hub statistics on there, which is cool.
And let's not forget about their PI profitability calculator, which is, I think, the best there is. What did I say? It's great, maybe not, but it's still good enough. And there's no other alternative out there that I think holds a candle.
I think it's really, really good. It's just like, it's so not intuitive. Like it is so hard. Like there's one I really there's a PI calculator. I'll put it in chat later. I forgot the name of it, and I'm looking through my links right now. But there's one that I love even more, that I think gets it right, because it's easy to use and it's spot on. But I'll put it on Discord later.
Yeah, we didn't put PI as an optional module because we were afraid that everyone would vote for a PI profitability tracker, and we're just not ready to do that yet. But it's we get poked about it enough, so someday,
like, honestly, I feel like PI has been trivialized so much in the past year. I mean, we've got a refresh button, we've got templates. Like, people don't have to think anymore doing PI, which I like. People say, "Oh, it's always been brainless." No, it wasn't. It was hard enough for just the same 99% of people, again, to say, screw it, or they just did this one thing that they heard at one point made sense, right? But I still felt like if you're doing it, if you're maximizing your profitability, and if you're timing it so it fits your lifestyle, and and your the amount of time that you can spend on it, it was a fantastic mini game. But now I'm not so sure anymore with templates and refreshes and all of that out there. So I don't know if it's, I mean, obviously people are going to hate me for this, but I think for me personally, not as a CSM or as a commentator, but as a person, as a player in Eve, I do find like they trivialized it a little too much.
I've got 9 characters, so I'm not a big PI guy. I haven't done PI. I don't remember how many years ago, but I do have 9 characters. Now that they're all trained up, I'll be doing PI in about 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes, but it kind of makes sense because I'm building things in weekly buckets and I got some free time. I'm like, a little bit of PI might be fun. So
it is. I have 7 perfect PI accounts. So that's what, 21 characters. I haven't refreshed a single character in like 6 months. But they're all set up. I love the setup part, like I love the setting them up. I have my spreadsheets. Like it's all working. They're all telling me it's not running, but I enjoyed the setting up part. I don't like the refresh part, the hauling, the extracting. Can't be bothered. But
Yeah, I'm gonna do a dumbed down version. My plan is just do a P1, P2 on the planet and just sell the P2 because it's lightweight. You don't have to worry about it for like 2 weeks at a time. It's probably not as profitable as P4 or whatever, and just see how that goes.
Yep. All right. Any other questions for Fern while we got him here? I just see a lot of PI comments in here.
Yeah, lots
I see
of PI.
Ray is here. Great to see you, Ray. Amazing tool. Thank you. I know Fern just talks, right? You're the brain.
Yeah, that's right. Ray does all the coding, and I manage the community and stuff like this and everything else. So we want Ray just working on the tool, and that's it. And he's happy with that too, apparently. That's what he says.
Great. So yeah, check out Eve Guru, and if you want to fly with Fern and Ray possibly, then join Buy Low, Die High if you want to do some high and low sec mining and industry.
Super boring stuff, but it's chill, right? So if you work all day and you're just doing chill activities, there's a lot of us out there that do that. That's who we're looking for, right? We're not stirring up the hornet's nest anywhere. So super boring, but it's still fun. So that's high sec mining for you.
But rich. Okay, cool. Fern, thanks so much for stopping by. It's always great to see you guys. The dedication you guys put into this tool is really awesome, and I still think it's one of the easiest to use tools that are out there. And once you go over the hurdle of having to download something, which I know, you probably get that question a lot. It's a big ask, but once you get there, you're an Eve partner now. I think that should give people a little bit of security when downloading it. CCP wouldn't risk that with anyone. And go out there, try it, and we'll have you back when you develop something new.
Awesome. Make sure you guys join the Discord. The best way, because you'll catch us every day. We answer every question every day. Ray and I, we hop on the Discord, we chat, we show screens, and then you have the entire community helping you too.
Yeah, Fern, you have
videos. So we try to bring down that barrier.
You have the VIP tag here in chat, so you can post links. So you can actually post a link to your Discord if you want. Right.
I will do that.
That would be fine.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Then thanks for stopping by, and see you soon. Next time you guys develop something.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you guys for having us. See you next time.
Perfect.